Hi, welcome back. In this video, we'll be discussing how to import a truck from American Truck Simulator into Blender 2.8. In the last video I made, I showed you how to import SCS Blender tools into Blender 2.8 and how to make sure that they were working correctly. And I didn't receive any feedback on that, so I hope all went well. But you will need the Blender tools installed before you can modify a truck in Blender, and importing a truck without any errors is probably one of the most difficult things to do. And I've tried for several weeks, and there's no YouTube videos, and there's not a whole lot of help, especially with Blender 2.8. So I thought I'd make this video to show you how I learned to import a truck into Blender 2.8. And it doesn't mean that I don't get errors. I still get errors every now and then. But the errors are okay. But the one thing you do not want is shader errors. So that's your goal, is not to have any shader errors, because if you have shader errors, then you're not it's not going to be very likely that you're going to export the truck in a viable file to use in American Truck Simulator. So one of the first things I do is I keep most everything on a desktop so I can find it easily. So I'm going to create a new folder for this new mod I'm making, and I'm going to just import a regular standard SCS truck, and I just picked one at random, but this one will be the Peterbilt 579. So I create a folder and I call it Peterbilt 579 mod. And now I need to retrieve the truck DLC from my American Truck Simulator program files. In order to do that, I go to File Explorer, and I have to go to my PC and then look for my hard drive. In this case, my hard drive is C. Open your hard drive, look for a folder called Program Files 86. And Program 86 folder, we're looking for a folder called Steam. And then under Steam folder, we're looking for another folder called Steam Apps. And then in the Steam Apps folder, we find another folder called Common. And then in the Common folder, we finally reach our American Truck Simulator folder. So we go in there and we see all of our game files. And there's a few files that you will need. Is your base.scs file, your def.scs file, and then you need your truck file, your truck DLC file. And in this case, we were using the Peterbilt 579. So I will copy the truck file and place it into my mod file. Now it looks like a regular zip file that you can open with any zip program, but if you try to open the file, it's going to give you an error. And that's because you need a tool from SCS, and they make one available that's free of charge. You can get it from the SCS website. I think it's their modding wiki. So if you go to any search engine, you type in SCS modding, it should come up with the right website, and just go to SCS tools and you will find the extraction tool. And I have already gotten it, and I keep it on my desktop because I use it quite a bit. So I'll just copy this tool and place it in my mod folder. And now I'm ready to extract the contents of my truck DLC into my mod folder. So in order to do that, the only thing you have to do is just drag it over your extraction tool and let go. and then the extraction tool will extract all the folders located in the zip file. Next, I'll create another folder, and I will call this our mod folder. I can just type in mod. And the only folders that I need for my mod folder is the vehicle folder, the automat folder, and the material folder. So I will copy all those and place them in my mod folder. Now in the material folder, these three folders, I need to place them in another folder, and I usually call this folder base files. And now we have to get these files ready. This will be the files that we convert to be used in Blender 2.8. In our material folder, there's nothing that we need that comes from our original truck DLC. So we'll delete the contents of that folder, and we will replace those contents with a file from our base folder. So I keep a file on my desktop with my American Truck Simulator files, and one of the files that I keep is a base file for the version of American Truck Simulator that I'm running. And in this case, this is my 1.38 base because I am running version 1.38. So inside the base file, you will find another file called material. And inside the material, you'll find a folder called environment. And you want to copy that and put it into your material file for your mod. And there's a few other files that we need to get from this base file. We'll go to vehicle, and we'll go to vehicle on our base file, and you're looking for a folder called share, because SCS created a share folder in your base files for things like textures and glass textures and things like that are used among all the trucks, so they don't have to pack everything into the truck DLC. They share them, so there's no difference between them. But Blender is going to look for the textures for this truck, and if it doesn't find it, it's going to give you some errors. So you have to copy the share folders and place them in your mod folder. So you have two of them. One is under your vehicle file, and you just copy and paste it into your mod folder, and then you're going to find one in your truck file, and you copy the share and place it in your truck. Now we're getting close to converting. As a matter of fact, I think we are ready to convert our mod folder into a usable format that Blender can read. If you go back, if we look at inside our truck folder, and these are our original files, if you go to your TOBJ files, you're going to notice that they are in a hexadecimal format. And the American Truck Simulator game reads the hexadecimal file, but Blender cannot. So these have to be converted into a normal text file. And then also our truck model is, you have all these files are related and they all get imported into Blender, but the model file is your PMD file, and Blender can't read a PMD file. It has to read a PIM file, which is a middle format file. So we have to convert these to middle format so that Blender can use them. In order to do that, you need a program. It's called ConverterPix, and it's available free of charge. You just go to any search engine and type in ConverterPix, and it'll come up. And you just download ConverterPix, extract it, and I keep mine on the desktop in a folder I call Blender Tools. And so you open your ConverterPix and you look for a folder called bin, B-I-N, and then select the operating system you have. You have a choice between Linux, Apple, and Windows. And I'm running a Windows PC, so I'll go into Windows. And here's my ConverterPix program. In order for ConverterPix to convert your files, you have to drag your files over your ConverterPix program, and then it will convert all your TOBJ files and all your model files over to a format that Blender can read. And if you'll notice, it kept your original base files, and it created another folder called Base Files EXP. And then what I normally do is rename this file to base. And this becomes my model file. And we're still not quite ready to import just yet. We need another file in our material folder, and it's a database file, and we find it in our 1.38 base file. So if we open that base file back up again, let me find it. Okay, here it is. But note, this is my truck files. Okay, so I go back to my mod files. I must have closed it out. All right, I go back to my 1.38 base, and I go to my material folder again, and there's going to be a file that's called material.db, and that's your database file, and you have to have that. So in our original mod, we go back to material, and this is our converted file. It's not the original file, it's the file we just converted. And you copy this database file and you just place it in your material file. And the reason why you do it after the conversion, because if you do it before you actually convert, the ConverterPix will remove this file and you'll have to do it again anyway. So just wait till after you do your conversion and just copy it from your base over to your mod folder. Now there's one more folder that we need. It's called the unit folder. And you get this from your base folder and you just copy it and put it in your mod folder, and this is for your lights and things. And now I think we are ready to import our truck into Blender. So if you go into your truck folder, we'll check one of our TOBJs, and you'll notice that now it's in a text format. There's no more hexadecimal in it. So now it's in text format so Blender 2.8 can read. And if we go to our truck model, notice it's in a pick, PIM, and PIT file now. So it's converted and it's ready to be read. So the next step is to import the truck into Blender. So we'll open Blender. And we will delete our cube. And this is an important step. You got to tell Blender where your mod folder is. So if you go up here to this tab, it looks like a wrench and maybe a screwdriver, but my eyesight's not that great. but I can definitely see the wrench. And you click on that tab, you'll notice that all these are showing up in red, which means that they're not synced to your mod folder. In order to sync it, you go to your file folder, and then you navigate to wherever your mod folder is. We have it on our desktop, and we go to our Peterbilt. Find it, Peterbilt 579 mod. And we go to our mod folder. And then we go to our base. Make sure you select your base, which is your converted folder. And hit project directory. If you look over here, you'll notice that now your file path is black, which means you are now synced to your mod folder, and your material database file is now synced, and your hookup library is now synced. And these three should be black, no longer red. These actions right here, they're for different mods, so we won't worry about them, but you do want to make sure that for importing a truck that these three are black, that you are synced now. To import a truck, we go to File, Import, and we go to SCS Game Object, which is our PIM file, and we go back to our desktop and to our mod folder. And we look for our, make sure you go into the right folder, our base, and if you go to your Peterbilt 579, you should see a truck.pim, and this is your truck model. So we'll click on that and hit import, and hopefully the truck will import without any errors. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Okay, so the truck imported, and we have no shader errors, which is a good thing, but we do have one error. And our error reads, we can't find the texture nor the TOBJ inside the SCS project base path, which is vehicle truck upgrade WPass. So I think this may have something to do with the way station. This one's not bad if you want to import, but if you want to really import that truck without any errors, we need to get that file into our project base path. So we need to find it, and so let's see where it's located. It may be in our base file. So we're back in the 1.38 base, we go into vehicle, and we go back into truck, and it was located in the upgrade folder. Alright, and so we're looking for WPass right here. Alright, so this is what's missing, and if you want to put this in your mod folder, you can, but it will have to be converted because this TOBJ is in hexadecimal, and we'll have to convert it. And I've never tried this before, so I don't know if this will work, but we'll give it a shot. We go back to our converter picks, and we go back to our program, and let's see if we can't drag this. And no, it does not work. So we need to just get this into a separate file. So let's see how to do this. Or we can just create this using just regular text format. I've done that before, since it's only just a DDS file that's missing. So why don't we do that? So we'll go back to upgrade, and you'll notice in our upgrade folder we don't have that one file. So let's go back and we'll create a new folder called WPass. Okay, so we got the new folder, and we'll copy the DDS file. And then we will copy, let's see, we need to get us a, let's go back to a texture. Okay, so we'll just get a regular TOBJ file from our textures, and we'll copy it, and we'll just modify it to work. Might be the easiest thing to do, so we'll paste that. And these two have got to match, so we'll have to rename it. Very first thing, we'll rename to TOBJ, and then we will modify it because our file path is wrong. So I'll spread these out so I can read the file path. So you got vehicle, truck, upgrade, WPass, vehicle, truck. Change this to upgrade. And then we're going to change this to WPass. And then we want to have it point to this DDS file. So we put WPass.DDS. And we'll save it. Now we should be able to import that truck without any errors, because now we have the missing file. So let's test it out. So we'll hit File, New, General, don't save, and now we're back with our cube again. Let's delete the cube, and now we'll try to import the truck. Just like we did last time, go back to our desktop, 579 mod, our base folder, our truck folder, and truck.pem, and import. Now let's see if we still get errors. Hopefully this will import with no errors this time. Oop, program closed out. That's odd. Let's try it again. Alright, so now here's our truck, and it has come in. We have absolutely no errors on our import. And you'll notice that doesn't look much like a truck, but that's because we have our collision blocks and everything on it. And if you want to see the truck, go to your SCS tools, visibility tools, and just remove everything but your truck files, and there's your truck. And if you want to see if all your texture files are correct, hit Z as in zebra and go to material preview, and now it has imported your truck. And we can see that we have our chrome, all our black looks good, and our truck paint looks good. Everything looks good on this truck. and it is ready to be modded. I hope you like this video, and I want to keep creating more. In our next video, we'll talk a little bit about our model files in Blender. But now you can import a truck into Blender without any errors. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, and so you'll get my future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them, or visit my Facebook group. It's ATS Skins and Mods. And I'm going to be trying to teach people Blender and making skins. So if you have an interest in learning those things, just join my Facebook group, and I'll see you there. Thank you for watching the video.